this is it. This is the last video, the final chapter, the last, whatever you want to call it, of this video walkthrough. And we are now ready for the Reesong Palace. So once you enter it, you'll find a fire barrel that is following you, and there's a bunch of keys that keep spawning. You need to just keep running. Keep running to the right, kill the keys, but don't stop moving. If you stop moving for a second, that fire barrel will hit you, and it takes 2 full hearts of damage. Once you go down, just keep holding left, keep running, never turn back until you get right to this higher ledge, then jump up onto it. Wait until 1, 2, 3 fire barrels pass you, and then follow the 3rd fire barrel as you walk to the left. You could use the magic cloak in this area, but it wastes a ton of rubies. It's probably not worth your time. Defeat the Iron Knuckle and then progress further into the Reesong Palace. And I have no idea how, but Impa got past that area and is located right here.
It's too dark to see Ganon, but the Triforce says you can only win by falling. I wonder what that means.
We will actually be using this piece of information in just a bit later on in this level. If you look in the background here, there's actually a strange, massive statue in the background, and it sort of resembles a head or a face. And this is actually a brand new enemy that we are going to be facing in just a bit, or an enemy that looks like this statue. Not sure why this enemy got his own statue. I mean, it's just a regular enemy, not exactly a mini-boss or anything. Perhaps the statue is just sort of like a scarecrow or something, meant to, scare off people from entering the Reesong Palace. Who really knows? It's probably just decorative. I'm just trying to give reason to the madness, I guess. So there are a bunch of enemies here, 2 Dodongos, a bunch of Vire, some falling rocks. You really want to try to avoid taking much damage, just because this is by far the longest level in this game, and you want to preserve as much health and as many of your lives as possible. At the far left of the screen, break the boulder using the power glove, or 10 bombs if you're crazy, and head inside. It's kind of dark in this area, so you'll want to use the lantern. And one thing I never explained about the fairy lantern, it doesn't use lantern oil, so there's no need to stock up on lantern oil anymore. I guess it's powered by fairies, perhaps? Anyway, this door is locked, but we got the key from Duke Onklet all the way back in Onklet's palace. So that was the locked door he was referencing, so head inside, I guess, into the actual palace. 2 new enemies here. The first is the stone statue on the left, which I made reference to earlier. Don't bother killing that first one since it'll just keep respawning and shooting fireballs at you. The second one you have to kill though, because it drops a key which we will need to unlock the locked door above. There was also another new enemy in this room that I killed a few of them, and they're called Bagu Bagus. And I called them that because they were similar flying boned fish-like creatures in Zelda 2, The Adventure of Link, and those were referred to as Bagu Bagus. So back inside, or outside, in the courtyard, I suppose, of the Reesong Palace, there's a bunch of more simple enemies. Diaras, Arpicos, and there's also a couple of moblins here. Strange that there's rather simple enemies this late in the game. But defeat them, they're, I guess, an easy way to collect free rubies. And just as Impa's advice said, we want to fall down. And there's like a little well, it's sort of blurred into the background, kind of hard to tell what it is. But you can just fall into it and just keep falling. There's a little, like a grate over there, sort of like a window. Avoid it for now, we'll come back to that a little bit later. And then climb the rocks on the right. Once the rocks by the ladder fall down, quickly move to the right and scale the long ladder, and then move to the left so you avoid getting hit by the rocks. And then enter the grating over here. This area has a couple Gorias. It also has a Skulltula that will appear from the grating that we just appeared from. And there's also the falling spikes. The combination of enemies could be kind of tedious, but you just want to use your rope and then defeat the 2 Gorias. They do drop blue rubies, so you could collect them if you'd like. The one on the left is kind of hard to get to since you have to jump. You can't use a rope over there, as you just saw. And because of the falling spikes, it's probably best just avoiding that one. So slowly but surely make precision jumps. You could use the magic cape just to make sure you don't fall and you don't have to use more rope. And there is another Goria at the far right here, and this one holds a key. So defeat the Goria, grab the key that the Goria leaves behind, and then make your way back to the left. Try avoid getting hit. As I said, I'm kind of running low on health, but if you are on your first life still, remember you get 3 lives every level, and you die at this point, it's no problem. You do want to preserve your canteen just in case you want to keep it for the final boss, Ganon. Although, as you'll see, you probably, well, I shouldn't say probably, you almost certainly won't need the canteen. But anyway, jump on over to the window / grating over here. Kind of an annoying jump. You might want to use your magic cape, or you can just keep struggling like I am, and then head through. I have no idea how Zelda gets through that little grating. I mean, look, like we could have gone through the grating from this exit, couldn't we? Well, apparently we couldn't because, well, I've tried it before and you can't. But we're back outside and we have to go through these series of rooms a second time. There's nothing different at all. There's the Skulltula, there's the Gorias, the falling spikes, but you know, just go through it just as before. And in this room with the stone statues and the Bagu Bagos, the second of the stone statues won't respawn, but all the other enemies will continuously respawn. I suggest just using the magic cloak over and over, especially if you have rubies to spare, because we're at the very end of the game and there's no need for rubies anymore other than using the magic cloak. So feel free to use the magic cloak, abuse it if you have a ton of rubies, and then head through the door to get back to the inner courtyard once again. Now we're at the last stretch here. That door right above is actually the door that leads to Ganon's lair. So I can feel the excitement building, right? Right. So there's a bunch of Arpacos here, Moblins, Dairas. You know, I mean, great enemies right before Ganon's lair, right? You'd expect something a little more difficult. I mean, this would sort of be like putting a Deku Baba right before Ganon in Ocarina of Time. But anyway, you could use the canteen to fill up your life bar, but once you are ready, just enter the door here to take on the final boss of the Wand of Gamelon, the King of Evil, the Prince of Darkness, the man, the legend, the one and only Ganon.
You dare bring light to my lair? You must die!
Ganon's fireballs take 2 full hearts of damage if they hit you, so you certainly want to avoid them, and then use the magic cloak so he can't see you. Climb the ladder and deliver the final blow, the only blow, with the Wand of Gamelon.
Ah, the chains! No! You haven't seen the last of me!
Wow, what a boss battle. I can't remember any game that truly encompasses all the different strategies, all the different items into one final epic boss battle like that. Simply amazing. I'm stunned. Wow. And you're not out of the woods yet. You still have to scale the room and at the very top avoid the spikes, since they can kill you and you'd have to redo the entire palace even though Ganon has already been defeated. But head through the door and let's save the king. And that's going to do it for the Wand of Gamelon video walkthrough. I truly hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you guys in the future.
Father!
You saved me!
Here's the traitor, your majesty. Please, your omnipotence, have mercy.
After you've scrubbed all the floors in Hyrule, then we can talk about mercy. Take him away.
Yes, my liege.
I wonder what happened to Link.
Oh, he was a bore anyway.
Stop looking at yourself.
What happened?
Nothing, Link. We were just about to have a feast.
Great!